My name's Dave DeBow, founder of MoneyPartnerFormula.com, and this show is built for everyday real estate investors who are actively doing deals and looking to scale using other people's money. So if you're an active real estate investor and you want to get featured on this show to talk about your own real estate and capital raising experiences, then just go to daveinterviewsyou.com. Now let's get rolling with this episode, and remember to subscribe for daily interview content. Hey folks, welcome back. Today we got a special treat, because it's real estate and it's mindset. And you got to have the right mindset to succeed in anything, especially real estate. And today's special guest, zooming in from New York, just outside of New York City, Francesca Apostolou does exactly that. She's a real estate investor with her husband, and she's also a mindset coach and specialist. So Francesca, welcome to the show. Great to have you.
Thank you. Thanks so much for having me, Dave.
So give us a little snapshot of what real estate investing looks like for you guys. What kind of properties do you have? What does the portfolio look like? Where are they? That kind of stuff.
Okay. In the beginning stages of real estate, we started, of course, educating ourselves. And so the first investment we had was one of our own, which was just a single unit. You know, we learned what it was to be a landlord and
Condo, a single family home. What was it?
It was a condo. So we had a condo in Florida and we were out-of-state investors. And so that was our first way of getting to know what cash flow was about. But then when we decided we wanted to do something bigger, that's when we educated ourselves and we looked into larger multifamily, commercial multifamily. And when we did that, we first decided, let's see what it's like to be a limited partner in it.
Smart. Yeah.
Yeah. So we did that just to learn the ins and outs of the business. So we were first limited partners. And then as we got more comfortable, we started to JV on a few properties. That's joint venture, if anyone doesn't know what that is, where we were more active investors in the process. And then eventually once we knew what it felt like to be a limited partner, we also raised some capital and we were co-GPs on a few properties. So the properties that we currently have, our limited partnerships are in the Northeast. There's one in Pennsylvania. We have some in the Midwest, Ohio.
Are they multifamily properties, or what kind of properties are they?
They're all multifamily properties.
Yeah.
And one is in Columbus, Ohio, and we have some others in Kansas City.
What size properties are they typically, Francesca?
So they're between the ranges of, I want to say, 36 units and 300 and some odd units.
Got it.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah. So we have a large range of different properties. And so that's how we started. And so we just decided, we learned what it was to have cash flow. Right. And so that's what we wanted. We wanted something that was going to be able to build with us as we got older and as we decided, in our retirement age to have a little bit more cash flow.
Now, aren't a lot of these syndications and limited partnerships kind of shorter term deals where you're in and out in 5 to 7 years, or are they longer term deals that you are going to be holding long into the future?
It all depends. It depends on the property. Some are supposed to be 5 to 7 year holds. But our joint ventures are ones that, we wanted to have more of a legacy type of thing, unless some great property comes up that, we would want to sell it. But for the most part, we want to be able to grow in the particular area. Our JV partnerships are in the North Carolina. So we
nice. So what kind of properties are you doing as a joint venture? Typically?
So we have some, large, not large multifamily, but like 13 units, 15 units. There is one
kind of
30
small to medium sized multifamilies. Nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So if we'd like to build up more in the North Carolina area. So that would be more of a buy and hold type of investment, where the others are, they're probably 5 to 7 year holds, depending on the property.
So now that you've got you got a lot of experience as an LP, you've been co-GP, you've raised capital for syndications. Maybe tell me what you think the pros and the cons are of syndication type projects versus these joint venture projects.
Well, I mean, with the syndications, it's more of like invest in a deal, obviously do your due diligence on who you're investing with.
Yeah.
But you invest in a deal that, you don't have, you could sit back and not do much, not do anything really. So that is a pro. A con is you have no control, right,
Mm.
of
Yeah.
the property. So that is a con. And then a pro with the JV is that you have more control. But also, you may not be getting much cash flow in the beginning either. So it all depends, right? What you're
Mm.
looking for. It'll come late. Like we've noticed that with our JVs, like for example, we have one for over a year now. We're still repositioning that property. So we haven't seen
Right.
anything, Where in our LPs, we've seen cash flow sooner
Got it.
than later.
Yeah.
So that's the difference. Sorry
I
about
hear you. So with the joint ventures that you're doing, typically how many different partners do you have involved in a deal?
So the joint, it all depends on the property. We could have between, 4 or 5. It all
Yeah.
depends. We have 38 units, so there's quite more people. But probably between four and up,
Got
depending
it.
on the size.
And what role do you and your husband play in that joint venture partnership? Because you're in New York, that's where
Mhm,
your life is.
mhm.
Are you doing boots on the ground stuff in North Carolina, or what's your guys' role?
Our role is to help out with the asset managing part of it.
Okay. Yeah.
We are not boots on the ground, unfortunately. We would like to be. Eventually, we will be. But at this point, it's more of the helping out with the asset management part.
Very good. So you got a unique kind of perspective on things, Francesca, because you're not only involved in as an active real estate investor and a passive real estate investor, but you also understand a lot more than the rest of us about mindset. So maybe give us some of your insights about mindset as it comes to relate to real estate investing.
Sure. I mean, just like anything, when you want to get into something new, real estate investing being one of them, it's very exciting in the beginning. We might take action by educating ourselves, but it's one thing to learn it, but it's another thing to actually take the action necessary. And so, a lot of times, our limiting beliefs hold us back
Yeah.
from taking the proper action. And so as far as mindset is concerned, I'm there to like push you through to find what that limiting belief is and to help you to have a path to how you can take action. And a lot of times I think we see the big picture and we get nervous. And so it's really about chunking it down to smaller little goals to help us build upon and eventually get to where we need to go.
So what are some of the more common mindset limitations that you see people suffering from or getting in the
Well, yeah,
way?
I mean, one of them is I don't have enough money. I don't have the money to
Okay.
do it, right?
Yeah.
Another is I don't know where to begin. I could get educated, but I don't know how to start. I
Hmm.
think we listen to a lot of podcasts, we read a lot of books, but then we don't know where to start, right? So it's really honing in on, I think that's a limiting belief is where do I start? Do I have enough money? um and the funny thing is even when you're looking at real estate in the beginning it's like okay what market do I look at? We look at the whole. I don't know about you, but I remember looking at like the whole United States. Let me see what's on the market. So it's
Right.
like
Yeah.
really I think that holds people back too. They get confused
Yeah. It's
as
easy,
to.
right? There's so many different markets, there's so many different asset classes we could invest in. There's so
Mhm.
much education. Do you find a lot of people getting stuck in that whole analysis paralysis thing?
Oh, definitely. It's just
Yeah.
like, is this a good deal? Is this the right area? Is this, the right town? Whatever it may be. And there is analysis paralysis, but that's where the clarity comes in. It's just a matter of we need to know what our target is, right? And so in order to know our target, we need to know what our criteria is. So
Hmm.
it's a scaffolding effect. And so then once you start to recognize it, then you start to create more confidence in taking the next step.
So yourself, Francesca, I don't know your personal situation, but do you suffer from any kind of, I think it was Zig Ziglar called it stinking thinking, and if so, what do you do to kind of coach yourself through
Mhm.
that kind of a mindset challenge?
I think we can all have stinking thinking. There's no doubt
Sure.
about that,
I know I
right?
do. I do from time
I
to
do
time.
too. It doesn't matter. So for me, it's really about affirming who I am and what I can accomplish. And also recognizing, like, I think a lot of times we look at what other people are doing and how far they've come, but it's also taking that step back and just recognizing where you were and how far you've come to create that confidence. And I think that's one thing I do is, as sometimes you get this thinking like, oh my gosh, there's so much further along than I am.
Yeah.
And then you get stuck in your own head, but that's where you need to take a step back, right? And affirm that and look at where you were to where you are now and celebrate that. I think that's something that we don't do enough, is to reflect on our past and then what we're like now. So, and celebrating that whole aspect. So that's what I do is, we might fall into that comparison trap,
Yeah.
right? And so that's where the stinking thinking comes in. Oh my gosh, they could do it.
Yeah.
I don't think I can. Why am I not further along? And so that's something I step back and say, look at me, look at what I did, look at where I was, look at where I am now.
Nice. It
Hmm.
is I think it's even worse now, Francesca. I don't know about you, but with all this BS social media stuff and Instagram posing and, everybody looking like they're having perfect lives, it's so much shallow bullshit, excuse my language, but it really is. Like, if you just scratch a little bit beneath the surface, you'll see that they probably aren't anywhere near as far along as they propose that they are.
So true. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
Yes.
that's some good advice. Francesca, if people want more of you and to connect with you, what's the best way for them to do that?
Well, they can reach me at francescaapostolou.com. That is my email address. Or they can reach me at francescaapostolou.com, which is my website.
Awesome. Thanks for being on the show.
Thank you for having me.
My pleasure. All right, everybody, take care. We'll see you on the next episode. Hey there, I really hope you enjoyed that episode. And as always, if you want to listen to more daily interview content, make sure you subscribe. And if you're an active real estate investor and you're doing deals and you'd like to get featured on this show, then just head over to daveinterviewyou.com. Now, at moneypartnerformula.com, we help real estate investors to create a process for predictably getting capital so they can do more deals without relying on hard money lenders or the banks. We do this by building them a private capital marketing system. Now, if you want help turning yourself into a big money capital attraction machine, then book a call with our team to see how we can help. Just visit moneypartnerformula.com to find out more. All right, take care, and we'll see you on the next interview.